Hey guys, we are going to be reacting to some of the craziest things that people have done for their hair, their scalp, for growth. So let's just jump right into these. And keep in mind, I've done some myself, so don't judge me.
But does it really work on matted hair? Okay, so I've seen so many videos of people using this on their horse mane and tail, and then some people saying, oh yeah, I've tried it on my hair, but they never show it, so I'm here to show it and prove whether or not it does work or not. Listen, I had matted hair for like a year straight. Whenever I went through my postpartum depression, it was terrible. That's all right.
Okay, if you are using WD-40 on your hair and scalp, I just want you to know that this is an industrial-based petroleum lubricant, meaning that it is completely toxic for you in every sense of the word. And I understand people trying to use various things to get to detangle their hair, right? At the core of this is that I'm sure she doesn't want to cut it off and start all over. Her hair was extremely matted. I get that. However, using something like an industrial product on your hair and scalp can cause so many issues, including dryness, clogged hair follicles, which will eventually lead to weakened, brittle hair, which once again, you're going to lose over time. If for whatever reason you have extreme matting and you do not know what to do, maybe instead of using a natural conditioner to detangle, you might want to use a silicone based conditioner. Also, if you do have a conditioner that works well, it's just not giving you the added slip that you need, I would even prefer that you add in a lightweight oil that can really help you to detangle your hair.
Wait, so you haven't heard of like using Vicks to grow your edges back? See, one time when my edges came out, I put this on my edges. I just rubbed it on my edges and they grew back.
I will say when it comes to Vicks, this is not a product I would recommend specifically because it is a petroleum based jelly. Now, what petroleum does is it clogs your hair follicles. If you are somebody interested in stimulating your scalp and getting that blood flow, I understand the premise behind using Vicks VapoRub. What I would suggest is that you use peppermint oil in like maybe a more natural based oil, something close to your scalp's natural oils and sebum, such as jojoba oil.
Alright, so today I'm gonna show the vibes them how to use Coca-Cola and wash your ears, me. So you are gonna just pour and rinse the Coca-Cola over your ears, me. I said then you're gonna make it soak. You're gonna keep it in your head for 10 to 15 minutes, then you wash it out. You see me I say. So what this I do for your ears, me I say so the Coca-Cola contain phosphoric acid, you see me, a very low pH. So when you apply it to your ears, the cuticle tighten, which make your ear strand look more smoother and your curls look more defined. You see me?
Coca-Cola is extremely acidic, and what that does is it actually throws off the pH balance of your scalp. And if your pH balance on your scalp is not, the way that it should be, you could be causing dandruff and other scalp issues. Another thing is Coca-Cola, it leaves behind a sticky residue. We all know from the sugars, and that sticky residue can once again clog hair follicles. If your hair follicles are clogged, then over time, it actually leads to weakened hair strands, brittleness, breakage, the complete opposite of that soft feel that we're going for. So please, if you want softer hair, use a mask, a natural mask that includes banana, avocado, honey, olive oil. Do that maybe bi-weekly. If you are looking for defined curls, try going to the store and even buying a natural product, or even if it's not natural, I would prefer you buy a product instead of using Coca-Cola.
If it's making a difference. You tell me, look at my old videos and let's see. This is 5 weeks now, just washing my hair in my own urine. Do you want to see?
All right, so urine for hair growth. Okay, first of all, I will throw my mother under the bus here because I remember when I was dealing with really bad eczema on the folds of my arms, she would literally tell me to go in the shower and pee on myself. Now I did try it, because follow your instructions, but it burnt and it was itchy and it didn't help me. So I get why people try things like this because of traditional cultural practices And because of that, I will tread very lightly on saying yay or nay. However, what I will say is that there is a waste compound, a natural waste compound called urea. And I can understand the concept behind it because it's been used to soften very thick, tough skin. So in the case of eczema or psoriasis, that's kind of the goal behind it. Once again, if you do have open sores and wounds from scratching, from eczema, from all of that, it can actually be causing burning, irritation. It can cause your issues to get worse because bacteria could be added to those open cuts and wounds. Personally, for myself, I wouldn't try it. I would try something more natural, tea tree oil.
Everybody wanted to know my secret to get my hair this long and thick.
Sure. Okay, that was a joke. That was a joke. I'm pretty sure he was joking. I'm pretty sure he didn't get his beautiful locks by using Lysol. Please don't use Lysol. She is using garlic on her edges, and she clearly has long, thick edges. This could be genetic, or it could be because of garlic. And a matter of fact, garlic has two main components that actually do help with amazing hair growth, and those are sulfur and allicin. It helps with improved hair growth. It helps to reduce hair fall. It helps with blood circulation. When I was on the journey of growing my hair back from alopecia and hair loss, I actually went into a health food store, and the gentleman there told me that he had alopecia on his beard, and what he would do is he would cut a clove of garlic and he would just rub it on the bald spot every single day, and his hair eventually grew back. So in that sense, when it comes to hair loss and alopecia, I would definitely give it a try.
Use this on your scalp. This actually been clearing up my dandruff. You know, dandruff is kind of like fungus, so I get a lot of dandruff when I put my hair in twists. So this is really helping me. I've been trying it for almost 3 weeks, and it's actually been clearing it up. I haven't put it all over my head, but just to test it out.
Okay, so with Monistat, this is something that I personally have tried as well. I know, don't judge me, okay? I was desperate for hair growth.
Hey guys, I'm back with another video about a product that I tried. And I know some of you are saying, please don't tell me you're gonna say what I think you're gonna say, but I gotta say it. And I did try the Monistat on my hair.
So I was using it for a different reason than he was using it. He was stating that his was for dandruff. So he's trying to control the fungal, bacterial, yeast infection on his scalp. Now that makes sense because that's what the product promotes. So right there, this is something anecdotally that if you want to try, you're going to have to try. One thing that he did say was he tried it on a small section of his scalp. That is something I would always suggest with a new product. Now, when I was using it for my scalp, I was using it for stimulation, blood flow, because there is an active ingredient called miconazole, and that is used for stimulating extra blood flow, which I knew was important for hair growth. This is something, once again, that you're going to have to try for yourself if you feel the need to in either regard. I had to stop using it after about a week or so because I was getting migraines. It was like really hurting the temple of my head. If you are like me and you are trying to stimulate hair growth, what I found over time was just using natural stimulating oils, once again like peppermint, rosemary, and then physically massaging my scalp. That's how I got the blood flow. That's how I got stimulation.
We are about to use this Dawn dish detergent for shampoo today because y'all see how this hair looking. Let's get to it. I like using this on my hair. It's thick and I use it like clarifying shampoo. Look at that, instant lather, baby. You gotta get up in here. That's why all the edge control, the products lay.
Okay, so Dawn dish soap. Now this was something that a lot of people were trying at one point to get that squeaky clean feel. Exactly what she said. She uses it as a clarifying shampoo. I would prefer that you use a clarifying shampoo. Dawn dish soap has a very powerful, it is a very powerful surfactant. And what that means is that oil and water don't mix. So there's a surfactant, it actually helps to get the dirt, get the oil, so that the water can actually wash it away. And because it is so powerful, that's why you see the commercials where they're using it on the ducks with the oil and all of that stuff. It's because it actually will help. And it's gentle enough for a duck, which is why people feel like it's gentle enough for their hair and scalp. For me personally, once again, you could be damaging your scalp, causing extreme dryness, which weakens your hair strands. You could be causing all sorts of scalp issues, throwing off the pH balance of your scalp, once again, which leads to clogged follicles, dandruff. It contains alcohol, which is really drying to the scalp. It contains all sorts of dyes and perfumes, all sorts of chemicals that are just not good for the skin or the body. So guys, these are some of the craziest things people have done for hair growth, and I shared some of my personal story with you. What are some crazy things that you've tried for hair growth, or things that you've tried that worked, or things that didn't work? If you have any questions for me in regards to hair growth, hair loss, please leave it down below, because in my next video, I am going to be answering some of your questions. So with that being said, thank you for watching another one of my videos. Don't be a stranger. Let's stay connected, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys.